let's talk about changes that will be happening in fall 2014. First, let's look at the way our old sequence used to be. We had pre-algebra, we had elementary algebra, intermediate algebra, and college algebra. So potentially, depending upon where the student placed, they might place into pre-algebra, and then it might take them 2 years to get through the college, through college algebra. Then we changed that, where we had two different paths. One of them is if you start with elementary algebra, then you go to intermediate, and then you go to college. Or you could start any place in there. You could start at intermediate and then go to college. As an alternative to that, we came up with elementary algebra with review that combined pre-algebra and elementary algebra together. So that if you started at the pre-algebra level, then you could take this elementary algebra with review, and after you finish that course, you go to intermediate and then college. So at most, you would have 3 semesters that you would need to take to get through college algebra, in theory. The new sequence that we're starting in fall 2014 is we have intermediate algebra with review. If you test into that course, then you have to take that course and then take college algebra. Or you could test directly into college algebra. Or when I give you 2 options here, you could start here or you could start here. Or if you test into college algebra with review, then after you finish that course, you're done. So we have this typical path here, that the intermediate algebra with review, or if you start college algebra. So either way, no matter where you start, there's at most 2 semesters you have to take math to get through college algebra. Now let's talk about what the intermediate algebra with review is. This contains all the topics from elementary algebra and intermediate algebra. The class is 6 clock hours, 6 credit hours. College algebra with review contains all the topics from intermediate algebra and college algebra. And it's 6 clock hours and for 5 credit hours. The 5 credit hours had to do with administration saying that'd be better for admissions and some of those issues. Now, there's 2 main goals we're trying to accomplish in the fall. We want to accelerate the courses. And in this case, students have the opportunity to finish college algebra in 1 or 2 semesters, depending upon placement. So again, starting in the fall, they'll either place directly into college algebra, like normal, the 3 credit class. They'll place into the intermediate algebra with review, the 6 credit class that they'll take in the fall, and then they take college algebra the following semester. Or they'll place into the college algebra with review class, and then they'll be done after they finish that. The why accelerate? Well, let me show some math here. If I can get my pen to work. And I should have had my calculator up for this, but if they start in pre-algebra, and this is taking a lot of liberties with statistics, so keep that in mind. Let's say that, best case, we have 70% of the class get through. So there's a probability, 70%, that an individual student will get through the class. Then they take elementary algebra, and there's a 70% that they'll get through that class. Intermediate, 70%, and college, 70%. No calculator handy, so let me bring up my my calculator on the computer here. And let's see what that gives us probability-wise. And again, there's so many variables there that it makes me a little bit uneasy to just put those numbers down there for that reason. But we'll pretend in an ideal world. And so 0.7 to the 4th power. And that gives us 0.2401. So let's just say 0.24. And again, this is the best case. A lot of us don't have this this kind of pass rate. If we even lower it down further, you take it 0.6, 60% chance you get through the class, times 60%, and so forth. Let's see what that gives us. So I'm going to take 0.6 caret 4, and we get 13% chance that they'll get through the class. This is probably a little bit closer to the truth here. I had one pre-algebra class, and I was just curious after I taught it. How did they progress after they left my class? You know, did they get through elementary? Did they get it through intermediate? Did they get through college algebra? And I don't remember the exact percent, but only 10 to 11% of those students actually finished college algebra. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't go on to a four-year college or to another college and finish college algebra successfully. That's just here at Cowley. So you can see that's not a very good percent. You know, 10, 11%, you might as well just stick them straight in college algebra, and I could get that amount through that have pre-algebra skills. Because that's a 1 out of 10. You're going to get that just from people with a work ethic. Acceleration. If at most there's 2 semesters they have to go. So worst case, if I take, let's say 60%. Times 60%, then that's going to give us 0.36, so 36% chance. So right away, we can see that these numbers can change. And this is assuming intermediate algebra with review, and then this would be college algebra. And the intermediate algebra with review is our lowest math class now. So we're assuming that, you know, starting at the lowest level, then that increases it to that. And again, is it going to be that that percent? I don't know. In theory, it is. The big question will be how do the students perform? How do the instructors run the courses? A lot of variables going on there. But you can see that, you know, this isn't a radical change. This is something that might actually produce some reasonable results for those students. Those students starting a pre-algebra are just not getting through their math sequence. That's the reason for acceleration. It wasn't something that we were probably, as instructors, brave enough to do. Administration came down and they said, hey, we want acceleration. And want it across the board. And when you look at the numbers, it's not a bad decision, because you got to do something radical. We've tried little changes all through the years. I've looked at the statistics and over 20 years worth of data. Hasn't been much fluctuation. It's just kind of straight across. No change. Well, just because there's no change, does that mean it's bad? Well, the government is starting to put different criteria on us. The judging our success rate based upon how many people finish Cowley College. So it's become more important that we get the students through. Now our small class sizes is the second major change, and intermediate algebra with review will have a maximum of 15 students, while college algebra with review will have a maximum of 20 students. Now this may vary some. I think I saw one intermediate algebra with review at night that had 20 students, so they may have to adjust that accordingly to help make sure that enough students get their requirements in. It doesn't make sense maybe to offer like 2 sections at night down at the main campus. The small class sizes have been done for many, I think, years, I think would be safe to say, by the Impact program, and have had remarkable success in that area. Having a smaller amount of students allows you to give them more personal attention, which is what we want. So it's fantastic administration has agreed to have these class sizes. When we proposed that, I kind of thought, well, maybe they won't, because that's a lot of sections. But they approved it, so that's going to be a good change. So those are the 2 main changes. I'm going to have other videos where I talk about homework, how to handle that, different techniques to try in the classroom, and so forth.